Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we got an Am I the A-hole story about an entitled Bridzilla, coming from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. This one popped the frick off. Let's get into it, shall we? Am I the a-hole for charging my friend for an initially free wedding cake after she told me it doesn't count as a wedding gift? I feel like I already know who I side with. If you're being grubby about like what you're getting as a gift at your wedding, I already don't like you. Like I already don't like you. I'm sorry.
She's not.
It's kind of like at Christmas where you get something from your parents or like somebody else that, you know, doesn't really know you that well and it's not that great. And you're like, me, and you're not like happy about it. It's giving entitled already.
Brother,
I, 34 female, have a friend who I'll call Mary, 33 female, who is getting married in 2 weeks. She and I have been friends for several years, and I was excited when she asked me if I could make her cake. I don't normally do cakes anymore for people outside of family and friends as I'm currently pregnant, have a 1-year-old, and I'm currently pursuing another master's degree in education administration, so I can be a school principal, because teaching is a dead end without an admin license, unfortunately. At the time she asked, I was also teaching full-time and finishing up a different master's program. Point being, you were fucking busy.
Busy.
Anyway, I agreed to make this cake over a year ago. I told Mary when she offered to pay that I would do it for free as my wedding gift to her. I distinctly said, wedding gift. She accepted and we started planning the design. Mary wanted a 4-tier cake with each tier a different flavor: white, chocolate, yellow, lemon, and several sugar flowers and fondant decorations, as well as 3 different flavored buttercreams. That sounds like a lot of work. It was a lot, but since she's having an August wedding, I had time because school would be out for summer. And I'm actually taking a year off since finding out I was pregnant a few months ago. Okay, so you were busy, you weren't busy, what's going on?
I am just confused.
Saturday, I went to Mary's bachelorette party. The party itself was fine, nothing remarkable happened. I couldn't drink, but everyone had fun. One of Mary's bridesmaids asked what we were all getting her for her wedding. I said I was making the cake for free. The bridesmaid and other girls said that was a good gift because cake is expensive and they wish they had gotten one for free. That's it. And I heard nothing else about it until today. How much is a wedding cake? Obviously, this would be dependent on a bunch of things. Okay, so we got like a 3-tier one. This is like $859, $600. So like around $800, $900 kind of range. But I think maybe with all of the customizations, like having it be multiple different flavors would make it more expensive because then you have to get more ingredients, right? I ain't a baker, but I'm assuming. That's it, and I heard nothing else about it until today. Mary texted me and asked me why I wasn't getting her a wedding gift. I told her I was and that it was the cake and reminded her that the cake was free. She said that wasn't a gift and that it's a favor. An $800 favor? That's worth a lot more than like a wedding gift or like money that you get at a wedding. I mean, you pay for your plate, right? So like $200 a plate or something like that. So if you want to get technical about it, a cake is worth more than a wedding gift.
And that's a fact.
I told her it's a gift and that she can't tell me what I can gift her. I then asked why she was mentioning it, and she said the bridesmaid I spoke to Saturday told her she was so lucky to get a free cake. She then agreed, but was upset when the bridesmaid said that's a good gift, because it is. I asked her if her own bridesmaid thinks it's a good gift, what is the problem? Literally, like I don't understand how the mathed in her mind. You know, it would make sense if she drew that conclusion if someone was like,
Oh, that's kind of like tacky. You're only getting her a cake.
but she didn't. She was like, oh, that's a really good gift. So like, how did you suddenly get upset?
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
She said that a gift needs to be something she can use in her marriage, not just the cake at a wedding. But you told her that in advance that that would be her gift. Dude, if she's not gonna be grateful about it, then charge her. Tell her to go somewhere else and get a cake, because they're gonna charge her a lot more. I told her with me going to school and not working right now that this is a major expense, that I'm taking it on by doing it for free. And she said that wasn't her problem and a real friend would do both? Yeah. This is getting weird. I responded with, fine, I'll get back to you. And she thanked me for understanding. Oh my God. Okay, your wedding is not an excuse to like scam your family and friends into getting free shit and money. Like, yes, that's like part of it. I'm just kidding. When you throw a wedding, it is in good taste to give a gift that covers at the very least your plate, okay? It's not a requirement, but it's in good taste. About 30 minutes later, I sent her a bill for the cake. Nice. The bill was for $700 with a deposit of $350 due by this Friday, and the rest 24 hours before the event start time. Like, does she just think you're made of money? When you make someone something, like a cake, for example, does she just expect you to pay for all the materials and then in addition to that also buy you a gift? If there's one thing that I've learned from doing all of these videos, I really just don't want to be a burden to people. Like, yes, I'm excited to get married. I really want to make it so that people don't feel like they need to do anything or go anywhere. I want to take care of people. I want to thank them for how they show up. It's giving ungrateful, you know? She asked me what that was for, and I told her since it's not a gift, she needs to pay for it. Oh, period. That's what's up, yeah. She said she couldn't afford it. Oh, interesting. And I told her I didn't care, and this is what business looks like. I did promise to get her a gift off her registry, though. She told me no cake is worth $700.
We did the research.
And most cakes are worth around $600 to $800, depending on how big it is. It could be more. In the bill breakdown, I pointed out where it was going from ingredients to transportation. Her venue is 45 minutes away. Additional labor, my husband helps me deliver cakes, so he's getting paid too. Last minute booking time and the size of the cake on top of the intricate decorations she wants. She said she shouldn't be charged for anything since I promised to do it for free. Yeah, she's being a bridezilla for sure. And it's too late to find another baker. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I said, that sounds like an awful lot like not my problem, because it isn't. She then asked if I could just do the cake for free and forget the gift. So we're right back where we started, I see. But I said no. This is the new deal, and I have not responded to her text since.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
I mean, that was the deal before you decided to be an ungrateful bitch. For f***'s sakes. It's like she's holding you hostage and like forcing you to make a cake. You don't have to do anything. She and her fiance were venting in a group message with the wedding party that I'm not in. One of the bridesmaids, who is a mutual friend, asked me what happened after telling me what was being said in the group text. And I sent her messages of our exchanges, and now apparently the bridal party is now divided. Some are saying I should go back and do the cake for free like I originally promised, while others are telling Mary she was wrong, and apparently it's become a huge ordeal. I mean, I just don't understand how you're not self-aware enough to know that like asking someone to do free labor for you, and then in addition to that, asking for a gift, you're delulu as f***. Like, you are drinking the delulu lemonade, you're chugging it. Her fiance is now mad at both of us for being petty and ridiculous. I feel like you have a reason to be petty though. Like, I think that maybe your pettiness is justified. I'm just saying. You wouldn't have been petty if she wasn't an ungrateful bitch. My husband is team Mary can suck an egg. Hey, I'm just yoking. I'm yoking. Mike's laughing at the egg puns. Sucking an egg is just like such a strange picture in my head. If you sucked an egg, what would that look like? What would happen?
How big is the egg and is it cooked? Is it chocolate?
I would say a raw egg. Help you guys visualize. Sucking an egg would definitely suck. I'm just saying. My husband is team Mary can suck an egg and doesn't think I should do the cake or get the gift, but he told me to remember that this could cost me a friendship, but he'd support me either way. He thinks I should stand my ground on this and not let Mary push me around. However, my husband also doesn't really like Mary for unrelated reasons, so he may be biased. Am I the a-hole for charging my friend for the cake and refusing to do it for free after she got mad at me? I mean, your husband is right. You have to be prepared to lose a friend, but like, why is it that you have to be nice to someone who clearly doesn't value your time and who you are to them as a friend? I would be so unbelievably grateful if a friend wanted to spend the time to do this for me as my wedding gift. A cake like that is hundreds of dollars worth, and you're willing to do it for free, which is arguably worth more, and like honestly a way better gift because you're putting the time in. I love it when people make me things as gifts because it means that you like care. You care enough to actually spend time and not just like get like a last minute gift or like, you know, get some cash and put it in a card. Like, it's so thoughtful to have someone make something for you for your wedding. She doesn't value your time. She doesn't value you as a friend. She doesn't value your skills as a baker. A wedding is not an excuse to like charge your friends and family money to attend. Like, it's just not. Like, yes, if you get gifts, it's a plus. Who doesn't like gifts, right? But don't expect it. I've even had friends come to me pissed off about gifts that they got. I had to check them because I was like, dude, like, I understand you feel some type of way about this, but like, it's giving entitled. You got a gift from someone and they thought it was a good gift. Just because you don't think it's a good gift doesn't mean that it isn't a gift that someone spent money on and put thought into. Hey, you think I only check people on Reddit? No, I check my own friends when they're being entitled bitches. I think you're prepared to lose this friend because she is being a bridezilla, but realistically, I don't know if she was much of a friend in the first place. I'd lose respect for a friend if they acted like this. Not the a-hole, she agreed when you said it was a wedding gift. Literally, like this is what you said from the beginning. But when someone else brought it up, all of a sudden a $700 wedding cake isn't good enough when it's gifted for free. She's a bridezilla, she is. Yes, I understand it's your wedding and I understand that it's your day and you can ask things of people that you wouldn't normally ask, but like you're not entitled to be a total dick to someone who's going out of their way to do something incredibly nice and generous for you. OP responds, see, that's what I don't get. I haven't mentioned it being a gift for a long time, true, but no one besides Mary thinks it's not a real gift, so I don't understand the problem. I don't either. Like, she didn't have a problem with it from the beginning. You stated a clear boundary, and now she's going against what she said. Oh God, we have an update. This popped the f off, didn't it? To me, you're not the a-hole, but I'm very curious to know what the update is. The post was originally going to be answering as many repeat questions as I could, but this morning, mutual friend bridesmaid I'll call Pam messaged me today to give me an update. I love an update. Mary and her fiance, I'll call Frank, are currently not on speaking terms because they got into an argument last night. It wasn't directly because of the cake, but what the cake debacle revealed to Frank. Sorry, I shouldn't be happy at people fighting, but I am. Because it does show that she is kind of a bitch, an entitled bridezilla. Apparently, Mary has been spending a lot of his money on this wedding. Did she expect guests to kind of like pay back some of the money that she spent? Is she kind of in a hole now? Is that why she's really gunning for you to also get her something? Like, I don't, okay. Now, we all kind of already knew that. Mary told us Frank and his family would be footing the bill. He's an engineer and his family has a lot of money. I'm not exactly sure what their family wealth is from, but it was enough to pay out of pocket for him and his siblings to go to expensive universities debt-free. What we didn't know is that they've been arguing about the finances this entire time. And my cake was the last straw for Frank. Mary's budget for the wedding was apparently $30,000, and she spent almost double that on intricate flowers, her wedding dress, decorations, engagement photos, catering, open bar, entertainment, and flying her family in and paying for their accommodations. Oh, yeah, that's gonna get expensive. The venue alone took a good chunk of their money because of the size and location, an hour away from where we all live. It's a large house, maybe considered a mansion, I can't remember, with several acres of land, horses, a lake, and a field for wedding photos. The entire wedding party is supposedly staying there for a few days leading up to the wedding. I've not seen it in person again, I'm not in the wedding party and never was, but the photos online make it obvious why it's so expensive. I had no idea that they had spent that much, and neither did anyone in the wedding party. As far as we all knew, the most expensive thing Mary had bought was her wedding dress for $5,000. I only know because I went with her to try some on with other friends and bridesmaids. Pam's fiance is one of Frank's groomsmen, and Frank's been venting to the groomsmen in text about how much this is costing, and he's not sure he wants to do it anymore. However, he feels compelled to because the money has been spent and it's non-refundable. But he didn't know Mary would be this way about a wedding because she typically sticks to budgets, which is true. Everyone is surprised by how much she's supposedly spending, including my husband and me. Mary is the person who gets everything off-brand at the store to save $1 even when she doesn't need to. Damn, I kind of feel like she's spending so much on all this non-refundable shit to just trap him. That's not what's happening, but it's definitely making it harder for him to leave. From what Pam told me, Mary asked him to just pay me so she could have the cake, and he said no, not because he couldn't afford it, but because he was tired of spending money on just one day. He told her to figure it out herself. So nobody knows what's going on anymore or if there will even be a wedding. No one has reached out to me about making the cake either, and my husband, for those wondering, is still team Mary can suck an egg. Yeah! I fail to understand why the groom is the only person paying for this wedding. Does she not work? I think that you can have a pretty decent wedding for $30,000, like pretty freaking nice wedding. You might have to skimp on things like, you know, the intricate flowers that you want and stuff like that, but nevertheless, that's a healthy budget. Before anyone asks, no, Mary did not grow up poor. She was very much middle class like I was, and she's never been broke or anything. She also never seemed like she wanted overly expensive stuff. She drives a 10-year-old sedan that, despite Frank saying she needs a new car, she won't get rid of because it runs fine, and my dad taught me to drive my cars into the ground. So believe me when I say it is really out of character for her to be this nonchalant about money. I'm not sure if I'll have another update. If I do, it'll be after the wedding, if there is one. I just fail to understand why Frank is the only person that's putting money toward this wedding. To be fair, wedding budgets do get kind of out of control sometimes. Like maybe Frank was not entirely aware of how much weddings cost.
Things just got out of hand.
They can get expensive, like they definitely can. However, all of these extra things about, the wedding being an hour away, paying for people to fly in, paying for a venue that like people can stay in multiple days in advance. Like all of these things are so unnecessary. I know a lot of people are saying that Mary's just using Frank for his money, but at the same time, I want to remember that Pam only gave me Frank's side and what he's been telling the groomsmen. I have no idea what part he played and if this is really actually bothering him up to the point, or if he's ever mentioned the amount she's been spending to her. It's now 6 p.m. and I've not spoken or heard from Mary since yesterday after giving her the quote. So I don't have any more to add other than my perspective. It really does sound out of character for Mary to be doing this, but I remember that when I got married, my husband said he wanted me to have what made me happy for our wedding. So if he's been telling her what my husband told me and still giving her money, then he's definitely not an innocent party, in my opinion. Mary is taking full advantage of the fact that her fiance comes from serious money to have her dream fantasy Cinderella wedding with diamonds and an ice sculpture. Nice plug there, nice plug. She's going to keep spending his money after they're married. He needs to stop the wedding and take the loss. The reason she wanted you to give her the cake was because he already knew she was way over budget and refused to pay for anything else. So I agree with a lot of people in the comments. This just kind of seems like she's getting a little bit out of control. Now maybe she feels like everybody gets her like a wedding gift either off the registry or like gives her money or something to make up for the fact that she's spending too much on this wedding. And like, I actually appreciate that she's doing things like, flying in her family. That's something that I want to do as well. However, all of these things need to be discussed prior. And like, if your budget is $30,000, adding all these bells and whistles, that's just not going to cut it. I also have not seen anyone bring up the fact that Mary doesn't really seem to be paying for anything herself. Like, I don't get it. If they don't have a wedding, I think that like, it's not just about the cake. It's about the fact that he thought he was marrying someone who was a lot more frugal and, wasn't, so to speak, marrying him for his money. And now throughout this entire process, he's kind of finding out like, oh, what he's seeing is what their marriage might be like. And granted, weddings can get out of control. They can. People charge like 300% of what things are actually supposed to cost just because you say that it's your wedding, okay? I know, I'm literally dealing with it right now. However, all of these bells and whistles, like open bar, that's crazy already right there, right? Entertainment is another just like huge expense. The $5,000 dress, like that wasn't necessary. And again, where's her money? Like, I just think that if she wants all of these things and she's not willing to pay for it herself, I think it's a very good indication that she might be marrying him for his money. Just saying. But I digress. Are you the a-hole? Nah. Subscribe!